So everybody's having a good time, I take it? Welcome to the book release of Haro Book 2, everybody. We appreciate you coming out. I know some people have traveled near and far, including myself. I want to give a big shout out to Haro, first of all, for making this event possible. It's a good venue, nice town, sunset, it was beautiful. We want to talk about a couple things. We want to talk about the fact that you guys all know we're on our second book of a 3-part series written by none other than the Englishman, historian, BMX expert standing next to me, Dom Phipps. So give it up for Dom Phipps. So anyway, so here we are. This is the second event we've had, the second series of books. We've had a lot of great parties over the last few years since Haro has been on this, just take a couple of those. So we've been on this path and reliving all the old days, and I think we all appreciate it. There's some great old faces here, people we haven't seen in 20-something years. There's new school guys here. I saw Tyler's around here. I saw Steve Caballero's here. Let's give it up from some skateboard royalty in the house. Yeah, we got Jim Gray is here. I saw Ron Wilton. I met Ron Wilton for the first time in my life. I got Martin Appareo, recent Hall of Fame inductee, signing autographs over here. So you should also know that as soon as we're done with these announcements, we're going to get, if you bought a book, we're going to get all the guys that are in the first and the second book. Is that Ben Snowden over there? There he is. Yes. We're going to get everybody who is in the books. All the riders are going to be out on the patio to sign your books if you want. So keep that in mind. We've got a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of the retro bikes that Haro's been doing. John Bulgens, he's here somewhere. He's done a great job with these throwback bikes. But what I want to talk about right now is Dom Phipps in the books that he's been writing. So the first book, as you know, came out about 2013. Time goes by fast. Anyway, so Dom is here. We want to ask him a couple questions about the book. So first of all, let's give Dom a big hand as the Haro historian and BMX historian. He's done a great job, and I personally have had a lot of interviews and things like that we've talked to Dom about from the first book to the second book, and I was very involved in this book because it was the era that I was involved with the company of Haro. I was asked to write the foreword, and it was one of the highlights of my life, and I'm so glad to be involved in it. And we just want to talk to Dom a little bit about the creative process. So from start to finish, Dom, how did you, tell me on the second book, how much work was it? When did you start?
I started back in, I think, May of 2013, and it's a process of just trying to kind of get the story together. So interviewing riders and looking for images and trying to work out how the whole era breaks down into sections, and then, you know, from there is chapters, and then you start writing at some point. It's the scary bit, trying to make sure nobody gets left out and everything is covered. So yeah, it's a process of building up to a point of, you know, having something physical to look at.
And one of the things that struck me about the first book, and I've only seen the second book briefly on the way here, but the one thing that struck me about both of these books is that having been in this, you know, kind of in BMX at the time, the images that I saw in the first book were images that I had never seen before. And you know, I kind of expected, I guess, a lot of the magazine shots that I had seen over the years, but there was images that I had never seen, candid moments. And the second book has done a great job with that as well. Tell me where you got these photos. I know there was a lot of contributors, and I know this was a priority for you to do that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is really about trying to present an accurate story, but also trying to illustrate it with something that isn't boring or hasn't been around the internet 3 times. So book 1 really kind of, I guess it kind of brought a lot of people together and made them remember that, you know, someone's telling the story. By the time I got around to everybody, what? So I was lucky enough that there were people out there that had a lot of good images, photographers of the era, so John Kerr, Brad McDonald, Peter Hawkins in England, who had this kind of great database of imagery that had never been seen by anybody. I was as fascinated as anybody to see it, and I had way too much to choose from. So the pressure was on really to try and find, you know, the best images for the book. So there's a a hell of a lot of images that didn't get in that should have done really. So
What was your favorite part of the process so far?
it's always good talking to the riders and the people that were involved, because my own kind of selfish interest in it, I guess, is I'm not doing it because I'm a writer. I'm doing it because I'm a guy who loves BMX, and so I get to hear all the stories firsthand, and the scandal and the glory and the great stuff. So yeah, putting together lots and lots and lots of content and then being able to separate and break it down is the way to work, I think.
Well, as someone who toured back in the 80s, one of my favorite things, this is really important to me, one of my favorite things was the stories that can't be told. Sort of like Haro the Dirt. When's that book coming out?
Well, this book has got some dirt in it, for definite.
Okay, I haven't read it yet, so...
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, it's definitely got some moments. But there's a lot of other stuff that, yeah, I guess the guys out there that lived it deserve to maybe privately own some of that stuff. But who knows, maybe we'll do an outtakes book or an adult version.
Very good, I like it very much. And again, there's been so many people involved, including most of the people in the room. I see Brad's over there and Bob and all these people. Joe Hawk is somebody that we really need to tip our hat to, because Joe sort of got the ball rolling with all this stuff. Joe, are you around? Where's Joe Hawk? Joe Hawk, I need you. We'll have a couple words with Joe about it and talk about how this all thing came to bat. This is Joe Hawk, CEO of Haro Bicycles. Everybody give it up for Joe.
Guys, this is going to be the shortest time that I'm going to be on this stage, but honestly, I want to tell you that, if I went back in time, Dom Phipps, we were going to have some great Mexican food at El Callejon up in Encinitas, and Stefan Prantel, founder of We the People, and Dom walked in and asked me a question that if I knew that it was the anniversary year of the Freestyler, and quite honestly, when I came in '93, the history wasn't old enough to appreciate. And Dom helped me to understand the history. And the history extends beyond Haro Bikes. It extends to the great competitions that took place between Haro and GT. And tonight we're lucky to have Martin Aparicio, who was voted into the Hall of Fame this year. So let's hear it. And I gotta tell you, I'm just really excited about that time, because it helped me learn about my own company that I worked for. And Dom was responsible for writing book 1, which extended through about 86 or 87. Yep. And the new book kind of overlaps a little bit, goes through about 93. So I got to tell you, tonight, we got a lot of talented people at Haro, but there's a lot of talented people out there within the BMX freestyle community that I'm really super excited that they've helped to create a job for me and all the employees that we have at Haro Bikes. And I got to tell you, tonight's Dom's night. Quite honestly, this guy works tirelessly and does so much research and writes so poetically and collects so much information and gets people to collaborate with him, that I am extremely proud to look to this book, to look at what Dom has done, and to look at the new friend that I've made at Haro Bikes. So with that, I'm going to get off, and I'm going to hand this back to Dom.
Thank you, Joe.
So again, there's lots of stuff up here behind me. The books are for sale, obviously. I think it's there's books here for sale for $65. I think it's $35 for the individual books. The T-shirts for the event are up here for $15 a piece, so make sure you get one of those. We got plenty of time here, so we'll do the raffle in a little bit. But keep in mind, and I think in about 15 minutes, we're all going to head out. Everybody who was in the book, there's Simon Tabron, nice one. We're going to head out back. The other guys I want to thank too, that were the guys that were behind the scenes at Haro that are here. You got Dean Bradley is here. Get over Dean Bradley. You got Bill Hawkins, team manager Haro. Ron Haro, these guys were literally helping run the show behind the scenes and supporting the riders. Oh, we got the tickets. Nice one. All right, so 15 minutes, we're going to go outside and sign. If you guys want raffle tickets, come get them, and then we'll do the raffle after the signing. But thanks again for everybody for coming out. A big thanks to Haro for having this event here. And we hope to see you at the next one. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. We still have a little bit of time here. Enjoy yourselves. Have some more cocktails. Thank you to Karl Strauss Brewing Company for having us. Haro for having this whole thing. There's still plenty of merchandise over here. We have plenty of 30th anniversary t-shirts left for $15, and then, of course, all the other Haro shirts. But again, drive safe. I'm not driving, so you're safe in that alone. And always wear your helmet. Have a good night.